Hi, everybody. Hi. So my name is Charlene, and I guess the story that I'm going to share tonight is about my family of origin, my family that I grew up in. So I'm a Cook Islander from the Cook Islands in the Pacific, and we ordinarily have large families. So I come from a family of 9. I'm the second youngest. So I have a younger brother, he's 4 years younger. And it was kind of like pods, you know. So my parents, they got together when they had children of their own. So imagine like the Brady Bunch, but then they had 2 more kids. So that's like where we come in, we're like the remix, you know what I mean? So then with that, I'm the second youngest, but I'm also the oldest. So my baby brother and I would also always be left alone a lot of the Saturdays because my parents were doing things, I don't know what they were doing, but I'm pretty sure I was too young to be left myself and in charge of my younger brother. So my parents on Saturdays would go, and my brother's 4 years younger, and I was the boss of him because that's the way it works. If you're older, you're the boss. Like if my eldest brother, he's the boss of everybody, but like I am the boss of you because I am number 8, you're number 9, know your place. You know what I mean? So that's how that works, and I relished in that power, and I still do. And my younger brother, Turua, has a nervous disposition, so we hardly ever fought because he was just very eager, and still is, very eager to just take orders and not have to think. So he kind of just does what he's told, and I just do that boss person bossing him around. And so my parents would leave every Saturday, and we had 1 foxtail box in the house. So usually in the morning, my mum would make like big batches of Cook Island donuts. So they're these like what our particular island are known for, these savoury donuts. And my mum would have these big plastic bowls, and she would make massive amounts of dough and then fry them off. And we would help her around the kitchen. Then they would go off and do stuff. And these bowls were like, we used to swim in them. They were so huge. And they like stayed in our backyard in the back of our house. So my parents would leave every Saturday, and me being the eldest, I had all the power then, and I ran that house like I wanted it to. So we would do chores, and then we would split the TV time evenly, because we had 1 foxtail box. What I mean by evenly was that I would have the time most of the morning, and I knew my parents were coming home later, and I would just give my brother enough time to watch a show. But he never knew that it was like disproportionately unfair, because he was sweet. And so then I would just be like, yeah, this is how we go. Oh, Mum and Dad's home. Oh, I'm sorry. I wish we had more time, but we don't. And so that's how it went for weeks. And then one week he got really annoyed and really angry, and he went to the back. And I didn't see him for a while. I didn't care. I was watching like The Simpsons and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and watching all these shows. And the thing is with my brother was that he holds things in, and he like stews on it for a while. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I've got it so good. Like, I've got it so good. My parents leave. I run this foxtail. I make myself snacks. I have got it so good. But you know, with island families in particular, you are responsible for the bad actions of your younger siblings. So if they don't do the right thing and they get caught not doing the right thing, you get hit for it. You do. You do. And like, how many island kids have ever told you about all the bad stuff they did to their parents? None, because none of them survived. They all died. They're all gone. Okay, and they're now living with their mama and papa in heaven, and they're beating them now as well. Okay, that's how it goes. So this particular day, my brother was like, I was like, sorry, I don't, I'm going to watch my show up until 11. This is how it always goes. But he clued on now. He clued on, like, oh no, but every time I go to watch my one show, they come home in the middle of it. And I could tell, but I didn't care because I was selfish. And so I was there watching my show, doing my thing, and then I smelled barbecuing. And I was like, oh, so neighbours barbecuing. And we had 2 old neighbours, like old. Like every house around us were old. So I was like, man, they must have their grandkids over or something. But anyways, I still didn't care. And then the smell of smoke got really like prominent. So I decided, I'll go check what's going on in the backyard. And I'm eating a snack and I'm walking out casually is my normal Saturday for months. And then I look out, and then I see my brother, who's ordinarily pretty nervous, just going back and forth from the back of my backyard to the front near the back of my house with this little tiny water bottle, like metal bowl, and just like, and I'm like, what is going on? And then he fills up this little bowl and runs over on his tippy toes, just go like this. And then I'm, what is he doing? And I look, and our backyard had this big macadamia nut tree. It's on fire. Like the whole thing is on fire. It's like from about where that bottom of that cloth is to the air conditioner on fire. And my little brother, who's about 9 at the time, and I'm about 13, has got this little bowl and is like trying to tippy toe to it and like extinguish this fire and run back, turn off, turn on, turn off, go back, and then fling it onto this fire. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I saw Mum's cooking bowls for the donuts melting. They've all melted onto the chair underneath the fire, underneath the macadamia nut tree, and he's just going back and forth. And I stood there eating my snack going, oh shit. I guess he's gonna die. Like, I just guess that's, no, I'm not gonna be a part of that. And I'm frozen there. I'm like, oh, could I help him? Should I just let him take it? Just take it? Because if I didn't see it, maybe I'll get less of it. And so he's just running back and forth. And there's a hose there. There is a hose. He could have just connected the hose and sprayed it down, but he's just going back and forth with this little bowl. And he looks at me, he's like, ah! He doesn't say no words. He doesn't say, Charlene, help me. He just goes, ah! And he keeps going, and I'm just like, oh, should I put my snack down? Should I let him? I mean, it's his fault, really. He shouldn't be at it anyway. He should have just been waiting in the lounge like we do. And he just kind of just, look, at a certain point, you gotta do the right thing. And so I connected the hose and I put out the fire, and I told him, when Mum comes, just say it was like that. And when they ask more questions, just say, I don't know, it was like that. And then when they say, what were you doing? You go, I don't know, I was watching TV with Charlene. And we had it pretty down pat. My parents never believed me, but we stuck to our story hard enough. And look, I'm alive. They didn't kill us. Yeah? So yeah, and that is the story of primal instinct?
Yeah.
Yeah.